Hey guys, Captain Foley here, and it is time for my spoiler-free first reaction to the last episode of Star Trek Discovery for this season, Season 1. Episode 15, Will You Take My Hand? Sorry, got a bit of a sore throat. So, not at all what we expected, not at all what we predicted, not at all what we assumed would happen, which is a good thing, I guess. It really kind of went off the rails in a few spots for me. Overall, pretty mediocre episode as far as Discovery goes, and the last few episodes have been really good. This one's kind of like a little bit of plot conveniences and quick tie-ups and things that really threw me for a bit of a loop, I guess. So yeah, not what I expected, not where they were headed with the last episodes, in my opinion. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I was sitting here watching it, and for the last maybe 20 minutes of it, I'm just going, I have to report on this. I have to talk about this, and I don't want to, because this is not great. It's not stellar. It's not awesome. It's just, what are you doing? That being said, they did really swing things around, came back to more of Gene's original kind of vision for Star Trek. It had a very Star Trek vibe and feel at the end of it, leading up to the last few minutes, or the last minute or so. And that being said, I think they really 1000% hit it out of the park and redeemed themselves with the last scene of this episode. I've been calling something similar for weeks now, and a lot of what happens in this episode I've kind of been talking about is going to happen, but I expected it to happen in a little bit of a different way. Something happens with one of the characters at the end, which has really been something that had to come about. And, you know, when this character gets this validation, it really feels good, and it's a character that I'm not the hugest fan of, but I really appreciate the way that it was done and what happened. Other than that, I mean, starting from the very beginning, the beginning shot was beautiful. We've got a lot of space scenes in this one, which I've been wanting for quite a while now. Nice flybys, shots of the ship. We get a few of those in this episode, and they're beautiful. Great job, guys. That's what we've been looking for, at least I have, and hit it out of the park. First shot was really epic. Both the pan in and the pan out was awesome for the opening shot. And then right after the credits, there's a beautiful scene of Discovery just, you know, cruising by the camera, and it just has that rumble, has that very TNG episodic vibe with the Enterprise just moving across camera. Beautiful, beautiful job. That being said, the plan that they came up with in the last episode really doesn't pay out in this episode at all. They kind of go off the rails with it, as I said, and there's only like Discovery that's going to Kronos now, and it's just, there's no fleet, there's no, we're going to take out Kronos. This is more of a, it falls apart a little bit. I don't want to give too much away in this spoiler-free review, of course, but for most of the episode I was kind of like, the first half was fairly decent and really kind of piqued my interest as to where they were going. But then, like I said, about halfway through it just kind of fell apart, and everything kind of settled up, and everything kind of got coincidentally solved and figured out really quickly, and a lot of things happened that kind of snowballed, and it was just like, really? I mean, that's where they're going with this? I don't know what to say about that. I think they really wrote themselves into a corner, and they needed to get out of it pretty quick. I know they added episodes to the end of this season to kind of cover the fan base reaction and fix a few things. And one or two of the promises they've made over the course of this have kind of paid off at the end of this episode. And like I said, I was really kind of disappointed and dismayed coming up to the last few minutes of this episode, and then something happened and I'm just like, yes, yes, and then the most beautiful thing in the world happened, and just, I was in awe, I was giddy, I was like, yes, yes, I was so excited, I was actually, screaming for joy. I was just on the edge of my seat and just excited for what happened at the end. The downside of that is now we gotta wait a whole year, pretty much, to find out what happens and what the payoff is going to be like. But I'm sure Samuel and myself will have a few videos in the next week or so covering the events of this episode, a few things in particular and specific that, well, we always do every week, breaking down the episode. So I'm looking forward to doing the spoiler-filled review tomorrow with him, as I always do. It's absolutely fun to break this down. This is going to be a great discussion, one to have with him, see what he thought of the episode, and just stay tuned for the next week or so, because we're going to have a lot of videos kind of describing, doing what we need to do and getting this fleshed out for you guys. So, but anyway, guys, my battery on my camera is going to die any minute now, so just want to wrap it up by saying, good episode, but kind of mediocre compared to what we've had lately. But there's a real significant thank you that I got to give to the Discovery guys. They really came through at the end of this episode and really panned out for me, and I can overlook a few things now, and it is almost like a bit of a reset button has been pushed, because a major plot point of the whole season 1 arc is kind of brought to a close in the last few minutes, well, the last 20 minutes of this. A lot of narration, a lot of exposition and speeches and dialogue that really kind of fill in the gaps and kind of give you a satisfying ending. Even the beginning starts with a narration, which is really good. Not a captain's log, which would have been nice with the Discovery flyby, but it was still pretty good. It's pretty fantastic. So, yeah, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it. Put them in the comments below. And like I said, tomorrow filming the full episode review with Samuel, and that'll be fantastic. And stay tuned for the next week of videos coming out, because there's going to be some cool stuff. Trust me. If you guys have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And let's just hope that season 2 moves forward a little bit more in line with TOS and what we've seen, what we come to expect from TOS, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, as I said, my battery's going to die, so thank you guys for watching, thank you for tuning in, and tune in all week for Trekyards, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I don't know what to say, guys. I thought it was fantastic at the end, but overall a mediocre episode, so I don't know how to rate it yet. I got to think about it and give you my real rating tomorrow. So until then, guys, I'm Captain Foley. I want you to live long and prosper, and we'll see you soon. Bye.